Welcome to the Hub. How about this, huh? This is an amazing space. Over the last few days, I've had the privilege with the faculty of seeing our students come into this space. The looks of wonder, surprise, excitement, awe, and joy have been overwhelming. I've seen seniors rocking on the chairs in the idea studio as if they were kindergartners. I've seen middle school students running up and down the stairs in joyous discovery of all the wonders of this place. And yesterday, the lower school students were all filing in for their worship time, and one fifth grader said to me, "I love what you've done with this place." It's a building fraught with meaning and with emotion. We would not be here today, as Charles has already told us, in this beautiful new space, if not for a boy who lived among us and died, as we think, too soon. I want everyone to get a glimpse of Blake Hubbard and who he was, the kind of person that he was. And just this week, one of our teachers told me a story that I had not heard before. I think it captures so well Blake's spirit, which we honor today, and which our architects and builders have embodied in this space that we are calling the Hub. So in 7th grade at lunchtime, most of the students ate quickly and hurried outside. But one student always stayed behind because he didn't want to play football, and he didn't have anyone to hang out with. Well, Blake was there too because he was still eating his lunch. And he made up a game. And he coaxed the other boy into playing with him. Blake made a paper football, a triangular paper football, and the two boys would sit on the front row, and Blake would take one bite out of his sandwich and then flick the football and try to get it into the prayer request basket that's set up at the front of the class. And if he hit the basket, he would take another bite. The other student would, if Blake scored a basket, he would take another bite of lunch and move back one row. The other student would move back one row too, and then they would shoot the football again. If Blake missed the basket and did not score, then sorry, no bite and no moving back. In order to get through 5 bites, Blake had to score from the back row of the classroom. Within a week or so, the other boy was as enthusiastic as Blake was about their game. Blake had drawn his friend out and encouraged him to hang around with the other guys. And once other boys found out what was happening, lunchtime football in the prayer request basket became a preferred sport on rainy days. I love this story. I think it tells us the heart of Blake and what our architects and builders have put into this space. His playfulness. Blake loved life. He loved to enjoy games, invent games, explore the possibilities in the world that God had made. His unhurriedness, he was the quintessential unhurried child. His capacity for friendship and building community. Where did all this come from? Many of us have asked ourselves that question. How did a 14-year-old boy have such a capacity for wisdom, generosity of spirit, enjoyment of God's world, building relationships across borders, putting others first? This is not your textbook middle school way of being in the world. The answer is, I think, that Blake Hubbard had a very special relationship with Jesus Christ. As a boy, he said yes to Jesus, and then he kept saying yes to Jesus and began to trust him. And because he knew that Jesus loved him, he was able to let go of all the middle school angst and junk and fear and insecurity around taking care of himself. Jesus said to him, "I got you." And Blake believed him and spent his energies enjoying God's world and serving others. Non nobis, Domine, non nobis. Not to us, Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory. Blake and this building have something in common. They're both silent. but they both speak powerfully to us. Just yesterday, every Trinity student came into this space to worship and to hear Blake's story in the video and in our reflections. And many hearts continue to be moved, called to Christ through the life and legacy of this young man. May that call go on for many generations here in this space, and may many students like Blake say yes to Jesus.